now, we're on top of breaking news in Hartford, a deadly shooting and an active police investigation right now on Wethersfield Avenue, right near the corner of South Street. Pinpoint News Tracker taking you to that location. Your reporter Logan Perrone is live with an update from investigators, and you got some new information within just the last 30 minutes, Logan.
Yeah, that's right, Tracy. We learned within the last 30 minutes that this is a mass shooting. There's 5 people that were shot. 1 person is dead. Police still very much actively investigating the scene. In fact, just behind this car in front of us, the man who was killed in the shooting is still there. Again, this happened around 1:40 this morning. Multiple shots were fired. And when police got here, they say they came across large crowds, about 100 people pouring out into the street. They said they found the deceased victim, the man who died, clearly dead, was the words that police used. As they were investigating, 2 victims showed up to St. Francis Hospital, both men, one in his 30s, another in his 20s. And then shortly after that, 2 victims showed up at Hartford Hospital, one of them in critical condition, another female, again, all of them with gun wounds. Now this morning, Lieutenant Aaron Boisvert with the Hartford Police Department, he voices frustration over the constant problem the department faces on this strip.
In an understaffed department, and you're dealing with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, hundreds of cars on Wethersfield Avenue, it's very difficult. It's very annoying and very difficult. They'll drive around until 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, just driving in circles in their cars, and they love it, and it's very annoying, but they deal with it every weekend.
You can just tell, talking with Lieutenant Boisvert there, the frustration in his voice. Right now, Major Crimes is investigating. They're still working on the scene, so Wethersfield Avenue very much closed at this hour. The only other information that we know is they believe at least 1 gun was used in this shooting. I'm a reporter live in Hartford this morning. Logan Perrone, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Logan, thank you.